The movie begins with a man named Ish, a biologist who has been living in a dense forest, far from civilization, conducting research on plant and wildlife patterns. Ish has been in the forest for a long time, isolated from the outside world, dedicated to his studies, and detached from the noise of human society. One day, during his usual routine in the forest, he is suddenly bitten by a venomous snake. The pain surges through him instantly. In a state of panic and desperation, he scrambles to find his phone to call for help, but in his rush and disorientation, he drops the phone and it disappears into the underbrush, leaving him without any way to contact anyone. Breathing heavily and fearing for his life, he tries the old method of sucking the venom out of the wound, but he quickly realizes it's not working. His leg begins to swell and the pain intensifies. He forces himself to walk back to his cabin, and once there, he takes a small knife and cuts near the wound, trying to bleed the venom out. He hopes the poison hasn't reached too far into his bloodstream, but his condition rapidly deteriorates. Within hours, he begins hallucinating. Visions and strange distortions of his surroundings cloud his mind. He lays on the floor of the cabin for days, unable to move, slipping in and out of consciousness. His body is present, but his mind is in chaos. A week later, a group of scientists enters the forest, part of a survey team passing through the region. Ish, still alive but too weak to move or call out, hears them. His brain registers the voices, the footsteps, the rustling in the bushes nearby. He wants to scream, to wave, to beg for help, but not a single muscle responds. The team moves through the area, assumes no one is there, and departs, unaware of how close they were to a dying man. After they leave, Ish begins to slowly recover. The cut he had made seems to have done enough to drain just enough venom to save his life. He is still weak, and the hallucinations persist, but they begin to fade in clarity and frequency. Over the course of several more days, he regains some strength and clarity of thought. His body begins to fight back. Ish realizes how close he came to death, and is filled with a desire to return to the city, to seek proper medical treatment and reconnect with the world. He cleans himself, packs supplies, and gets into his car. On the drive toward the city, something unsettling begins to dawn on him. There are no cars, no people, no movement. Every road is empty. Every traffic light blinks with no one to obey it. He grows anxious. When he finally reaches the city, he is shocked to find it completely deserted. Streets, neighborhoods, hospitals, all empty. There's no one in sight, no signs of life. Buildings look abandoned but untouched. Ish wanders the city in disbelief, going from one block to the next, calling out, opening doors, but there is no one. He soon discovers what has happened. A deadly pandemic, swift and merciless, has wiped out the majority of the population in mere days. It spread faster than anything humanity had prepared for. He survived only because he had been isolated in the forest during the outbreak. There is no government, no emergency response, no survivors that he can see. Ish drives to his parents' house, hoping to find them alive, but his worst fears come true. He finds their lifeless bodies, rotted from days of death. The sight is overwhelming, and Ish falls to his knees, sobbing uncontrollably. After sitting with them in silence for hours, he buries them in the backyard. He marks their graves and returns inside. The house is silent. The city is silent. The world is silent. Ish wakes the next morning, consumed by the realization that he may truly be the last man alive. In the days that follow, Ish explores further but finds no one. He decides to travel to another city, believing there must be survivors somewhere. He chooses Las Vegas. He packs essential supplies, weapons for protection, and food. As he drives, he finds the bridge to Las Vegas has been sealed. Frustrated but determined, he reroutes and continues until he finally reaches the city. Las Vegas is no different. Once a city of light and excess, now a shadow of its former self. Hotels, casinos, entertainment centers, everything lies in stillness. He checks into a luxury hotel and helps himself to the abandoned riches. That night, while enjoying the silence and surreal comfort, Ish meets two survivors, a woman and a man. The woman tells her tragic story of watching her family die over a video call, powerless to help. She says she has no will to live. The man is silent, but his eyes reveal deep emptiness. Ish invites them to stay. The three talk into the night, but something about their energy troubles Ish. By morning he feels uneasy. The man has a gun and plans to end all of their lives in a suicide pact, seeing no purpose in living anymore. Ish, fueled by the instinct to live, escapes the room. Shortly after, gunshots echo through the empty hallways. Ish doesn't return to the room. He drives away, more alone than ever. As he speeds down the highway, a dog runs across the road. He slams the brakes and stops. The dog, skinny and cautious, watches him. Ish slowly approaches, speaks gently, and gives it water. The dog follows him. Ish finds a new reason to live: companionship. The dog becomes his partner. He returns home and builds a daily routine, focusing on survival. Each day he walks the streets at noon, hoping to see another survivor. Each night he returns empty-handed. One day, while drinking tea near the window with the dog barks suddenly and sharply. Ish follows its gaze and sees smoke in the distance. He jumps into the car and races to the source. He finds a woman hiding in a house, frightened. Her name is Emma. Ish reassures her, tells her he's harmless and alone too. She eventually lets him in. They talk for hours. She tells him she hasn't seen anyone in over a year. Ish says the same. Together they laugh nervously. They realize how much they needed human interaction. They move in together at Ish's house, where the general store is nearby and supplies are still plentiful. Emma helps Ish clean and renovate. The house slowly becomes a home. They find comfort in each other. Days become structured. They wake up early, make plans, and begin fixing what had once been neglected. Their bond deepens. The thought of rebuilding humanity arises. At first, it is a practical conversation. They are the last humans, and continuing the species falls on them. But Ish grows scared. He fears for the children. What kind of world will they grow up in? Will they be safe? Emma tells him the world can heal, and so can they. Ish studies childbirth, knowing they must do it all themselves. He prepares the home for a child, collects medical supplies, and sets up solar panels for power. As forests grow over old neighborhoods and wild animals move closer, Ish builds a fence. They adopt pets, guard the perimeter, and prepare. Their health improves in the fresh, post-human air. But then come the rats, dozens of them. Ish panics, burns trash through the night. Emma calms him. At sunrise, Ish releases cats into the area. The problem disappears. Then the day comes. Emma goes into labor. Ish assists her. It's tense and terrifying, but she delivers a healthy baby girl. The birth brings light into their world. They paint their address across buildings, hoping others will see it. Years pass, and Ish continues to hope that more people will find them. One day, while driving through the forest to collect resources, Ish sees a wounded animal, likely attacked by other predators. The animal is barely alive, suffering in pain. Ish takes out his gun and puts it out of its misery. Unbeknownst to him, someone had been watching. A girl, alone and hiding in the forest, sees Ish shoot the animal and becomes terrified. Thinking he is a threat, she runs. Ish sees her and gives chase, not to hurt her but to stop her from vanishing. He eventually catches up to her, offers her an apple, and speaks kindly. Though scared and silent, the girl senses he means no harm. She refuses to sit in the front seat and chooses to hide in the trunk of his car. Ish drives home with her still curled up in the back. At home, Emma is now raising 2 children and is expecting a third. Jorge and Maureen, another couple who arrived after reading the address signs left around the city, have been living with them for a year. The house has become a safe community, a kind of beacon in a world gone quiet. When they arrive, the girl stays in the trunk, refusing to come out even after nightfall. The next morning, Maureen approaches her gently with food. The girl panics and throws the food away, but Maureen, calm and patient, tells her about their journey, how she and Jorge were lost and hopeless until they came across this group. Her story seems to ease the girl's fear. Though she doesn't speak much, she starts to trust them. She still hasn't told anyone her name. One day, Maureen discovers a letter among her belongings, hidden with strange, haunting drawings. The letter is from her mother and reveals her name, Evie. It explains that Evie was abused by her father during the early days of the pandemic. The letter pleads for any future caretaker to be kind to her. This revelation changes everything. The group becomes even more protective of Evie, treating her gently and with respect. She begins to eat with them, sit near them, and even smile on rare occasions. That same night, Emma goes into labor again, and with Ish's help delivers their third child. A year passes. Then one day, something changes. A small group of 4 survivors is spotted entering their area. Everyone becomes cautious. They send the children inside and step out armed, ready to protect their home. The group introduces themselves peacefully. Among them is a doctor named Molly, who immediately identifies Emma's baby as healthy and smiles warmly. Molly explains that she has only found a few people over the years and was surviving with this small group. Ish and Emma, after brief discussion, decide to welcome them. There is no shortage of food or space. Ish sets some rules for their growing community. Everyone must keep weapons for protection, move in groups when collecting supplies, and always be vigilant. The cities are overrun with nature, and danger can appear at any moment. They begin daily expeditions to gather supplies. Molly is a great help and brings back valuable medical items from abandoned hospitals. More years pass, and several children are born into the group. Ish begins teaching them history, survival skills, and the importance of building trust. He tells them stories about the world before the pandemic, about governments, schools, and cities full of life. He trains them not just for survival, but to understand what was lost and what might one day return. Then, danger strikes again. One morning, while the children are playing near the edge of the property, a lion emerges from the surrounding forest. Ish sees it first and runs forward shouting, trying to draw the animal away from the children. The lion charges. Ish fires his weapon but is knocked down. The lion attacks him, tearing into his side. Emma arrives with others and, in a moment of fury and fear, shoots the lion dead. Molly and the others rush to save Ish. He is severely injured. For weeks he is bedridden, fighting through pain and infection. Molly treats him constantly. Emma stays by his side. Slowly, Ish recovers. His body bears the scars, but he regains his strength. Time moves on. 17 years have passed since the pandemic. Ish's eldest daughter, Heather, is now a young woman. She forms a close bond with a boy in the community. Their friendship grows, and soon they decide to explore the outside world together, searching for other survivors. Ish and Emma are hesitant, but know they cannot stop them. They arm them with weapons and supplies and let them go with hope and fear. After they leave, a new crisis arrives: water shortage. The dam nearby is drying up and the water level becomes dangerously low. The community begins to worry. Then another group of survivors arrives. They come with 2 trucks and a request. They need petrol. In return, they offer to help solve the water crisis. They have a drill that can reach underground reserves. Ish agrees but warns his community to stay alert. The group begins working. Days pass. They drill tirelessly. Finally, water bursts from the ground. The community celebrates. The new group joins in the celebration, but Ish is observant. He notices the leader of the group, a man named Charlie, acting suspiciously. One night, Ish sees him sneaking around. A guard spots Charlie entering a room where Evie is staying. They rush in and find he has assaulted her. The community is outraged. Evie, shaken but strong, tells them that Charlie had plans to take over. He said he wouldn't be leaving, and with his guns and men, he planned to take control of everything. Ish gathers the group and speaks honestly. Some say Charlie should be spared because so few humans remain, but Ish argues that if Charlie lives, the community will die. Together, they make a decision. They surround Charlie the next night. Before Charlie can defend himself, Ish steps forward and kills him with an axe. It is the first time Ish has killed a man. He buries the body, consumed with guilt and sorrow. The next morning, he tells Charlie's group what happened. To his surprise, most are relieved. They reveal that Charlie abused women in their group too. Only one friend of Charlie is angry. Ish tells them they are welcome to stay, but not Charlie's friend, who shares his violent nature. The friend storms off but returns after a few days, asking to be let back in. Ish refuses. He has to think of the safety of everyone. The friend disappears into the wild. Meanwhile, the children of the community begin working on an old idea, a way to build a communication network. They use salvage parts to build a simple radio system. But before they can finish, another disaster strikes. The virus from 20 years ago returns. Several members of the community fall ill. Molly does her best with the medical supplies they have. Ish's son becomes seriously sick. The entire community is devastated. During this time, Heather returns, alone. Tears in her eyes, she tells them her partner was killed. While searching abandoned cities, they encountered a man hiding in the forest. He turned out to be the same man Ish had cast out, Charlie's old friend. He wanted revenge and attacked them. Heather fought back and killed him, but her partner died. The story breaks everyone's hearts. Then comes more sorrow. Ish's son dies. Not long after, 3 more community members also succumb. Ish is crushed. He walks away from the community, broken, tired, and hopeless. He considers ending his own life, but Emma follows him, just as she did years ago when he was alone. She holds his hand and reminds him what they've built. She tells him they started this life with nothing, and now they have a family, a community, a future. She tells him he must lead, that the children need him. Ish hears her. He hikes into the mountains. He watches the sunrise. The world is different, quieter, greener, wilder. He breathes deeply. In that moment, he realizes his mistake. He has been training the children to survive in the old world, a world that no longer exists. They must be taught to live in this new world. He returns home, stands before the children, and speaks. "We were preparing you to survive the past, but the past is gone. This is a new world. You must learn to live in it. Nature will teach you more than we ever could. Learn from it." Inspired, they finish the radio system. For the first time, they can speak across distances. They begin hosting social gatherings and storytelling events. The children learn how to build, how to hunt, how to live together. Ish begins restoring the city nearby. They clean out old hotels, restore power to certain areas, and slowly expand. They plant food, set up water systems, and revive parts of civilization. The community grows, people from other regions begin to arrive. Babies are born and children grow into leaders. Ish watches them with pride. In the post-credit scene, an old Ish sits beside his grandson. The boy asks him about the old world. Ish smiles and begins the story. He tells him everything about the snake bite, the pandemic, the loneliness, Emma, the children, the lion, the virus, the survivors, the danger, the loss, the hope, and the rebuilding. As the story ends, he places a hand on the boy's shoulder and says, "This world is our generation's, and it's up to you to carry it forward." And just like that, the world falls silent, and yet, Earth abides, a powerful reminder that while civilizations may rise and fall, some stories stand the test of time. If this film moved you, made you think, or simply sparked your curiosity, you'll feel right at home here at Rewind and Review. We dive deep into the forgotten gems, cult classics, and timeless tales that deserve a second look. So before you go, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell, because the stories worth remembering are just getting started. Thanks for watching, and remember, even when the world changes, good storytelling abides.